Imagine this. It's 4:17 a.m. in Taipei. Air raids sirens erupt across the city. Power grids flicker, communication networks begin to collapse under coordinated cyber attacks. Ballistic missiles rain down on air bases, radar stations, and naval ports before most pilots can even reach their aircraft. Chinese amphibious assault ships surge into the Taiwan Strait. Fighter squadrons cross the median line in waves. Satellite imagery is jammed, GPS signals degrade. Global markets begin crashing within hours. This isn't friction. Military planners in China and Taiwan have rehearsed variations of this scenario for decades. The real question isn't whether China has the power to attack. It is whether Taiwan can survive the first brutal week. Today, we break down 10 realistic strategies that could determine whether Taiwan collapses quickly or becomes the most dangerous battlefield in Asia. The Taiwan Strait, a natural kill zone. The Taiwan Strait spans roughly 130 kilometers at its narrowest point. The stretch of water is exposed, unpredictable, and vulnerable to surveillance. An amphibious fleet crossing it would face missile strikes, submarine ambushes, naval mines, drone swarms, air interdiction. Transport ships move slowly when fully loaded. Amphibious assault vessels cannot maneuver like destroyers. Taiwan's coastal radar network and mobile anti-ship missile systems, including the domestically produced Swinfang series, are US-supplied Harpoon systems designed to strike ships before they even reach the shore. Even sinking a fraction of the invasion fleet could create logistical chaos. Troops without heavy armor, fuel, or resupply become stranded, and stranded forces rarely win wars. The porcupine strategy, death by 1,000 cuts. Taiwan understands it cannot match China symmetrically. So instead it invests in asymmetrical deterrents, small, mobile, lethal systems that are hard to target. Truck-mounted launchers can relocate within minutes. Mobile radar systems reduce vulnerability, and sea mines can deny landing zones. Cheap attack drones can overwhelm high-value targets. The idea is simple. Make invasions so costly that even victory feels like defeat. Every destroyed transport ship isn't just equipment lost, it is political shockwaves back in Beijing. Destroy the beachhead before it stabilizes. Landing is only phase 1. Sustaining the landing is phase 2, and that's where invasions collapse. If Chinese forces manage to land on Taiwan's western coastline, they must immediately secure ports, airfields, and supply corridors. Taiwan's strategy focuses on rapid, concentrated counterstrikes before the beachhead solidifies. Pre-mapped artillery grids, missile strikes on landing zones, and special forces targeting logistics hubs. Without steady supply lines, even elite troops stall, and stalled offensives bleed momentum. Urban warfare turning cities into defensive mazes. Taiwan's population density works in its favor defensively. Major cities like Taipei and Kaohsiung are dense, vertical, and complex. Urban warfare negates large-scale maneuver warfare advantages. Tanks struggle in narrow streets, infantry faces constant ambush risk, drones and snipers dominate sightlines. History has shown, from Fallujah to Mariupol, that cities can absorb enormous force. If Taiwan transitions into prolonged urban resistance, the invasion timeline stretches dramatically, and time changes everything. The cyber warfare is silent chaos. China possesses one of the most advanced cyber warfare capabilities globally. Before physical invasion, Taiwan would likely face power grid disruptions, satellite interference, financial system paralysis, and media manipulation campaigns. But Taiwan has invested heavily in digital resilience and backup systems. Decentralized command structures and hardened communications are essential. If leadership remains connected, morale remains intact. Modern wars are won not only by firepower, but by who controls information and public perception. The air defense and survivability. China's air force is numerically superior, but quantity does not guarantee air supremacy. Taiwan's aircraft are stored in hardened mountain bunkers carved directly into rock. Runways can be repaired quickly. Mobile surface-to-air missile systems relocate frequently. And if even partial air denial is maintained, Chinese air operations become slower and riskier. And slower offensives give defenders breathing room. International intervention strategic ambiguity. Will the United States intervene? Policy remains intentionally ambiguous. But U.S. naval forces regularly operate in the Indo-Pacific. Japan's proximity also makes it strategically significant. Even indirect involvement, intelligence sharing, logistics sanctions, maritime blockades could dramatically increase costs for Beijing. The uncertainty itself functions as deterrence. For China, escalation risk isn't theoretical, it is global. The semiconductor shield. Taiwan manufactures the majority of the world's advanced semiconductor chips. Companies like TSMC power everything from smartphones to advanced military hardware. An invasion threatens global supply chains instantly. The economic backlash would be immediate and severe. Some analysts argue the Silicon Shield acts as strategic protection because destroying Taiwan's chip infrastructure harms everyone, including China. Economic interdependence becomes a geopolitical weapon. The national resilience and reserves. Taiwan has expanded mandatory military service and reconstructed its reserves. Civil defense drills are increasing, emergency supply stockpiles are expanding, and infrastructure redundancy is improving. In prolonged conflict, societal resilience determines sustainability. If citizens remain organized and defiant, occupation becomes exponentially harder. Modern warfare blurs the line between military and civilian domains. The strategy of time. Taiwan does not need immediate battlefield dominance. It needs endurance. Every additional day multiplies. Global diplomatic pressure, economic sanctions, military repositioning in the region, strategic uncertainty. If Taiwan survives the first week, intervention probabilities rise. And if it survives a month, the war transforms into a global geopolitical crisis. Time is Taiwan's greatest force multiplier. The hard truth. China possesses overwhelming scale. The People's Liberation Army Navy is the largest in the world by ship count. Missile inventories are vast. Industrial capacity dwarfs Taiwan's. A conflict would be catastrophic for both sides. There are no easy outcomes. But assumptions of instant collapse underestimate geography, preparation, and political consequences. Wars are rarely decided purely by numbers. They're decided by execution, morale, logistics, and international reaction. So, can Taiwan survive 7 days? It is possible. But can it survive longer? That depends on preparation, global response, and China's willingness to absorb heavy cost. One thing is certain. A war in the Taiwan Strait would not stay confined to two shores. It would shake the global economy, redefine alliances, and alter the balance of power for decades. And that's exactly why deterrence on all sides remains so critical. Because in modern geopolitics, sometimes survival itself is victory.